Most agency owners I talk to still hire VAs to scrape leads and send cold emails manually, but it takes around 7+ hours for them to scrape just 200 leads a day. Let me show you how AI does this in under 3 minutes and why this might be the last VA you ever hire. Hi, my name is Richard Nguyen, and for the past couple months, I've been using VAs to handle all my leads and outreach to all of them. This will take around to 5 to 10 hours per day just to scrape 200 leads and manually cold outreach to them. And this would cost me around $5 to $10 per hour, depending on the VA's experience. Therefore, it took around 2 to 3 days ahead of time just for all my prospects' emails to be contacted and maybe get some replies. As well, it costed around $50 to $100 a day just to hire these VAs. So it wasn't very cost effective. That's until I came across AI, which scraped and automated all my emails in under 3 minutes. So in this video, I'll be walking through my experiences with VAs versus AI in lead generation and outreach step by step. So VAs versus AI lead generation outreach. We'll take a look at the VA first and when it comes to lead gen and outreach step by step and what they do manually. So that's what they do is the VAs they would scrape leads manually. So they would scrape out like prospects in LinkedIn, Apollo, and etc. They'll write icebreakers manually. So they will think of a line about the prospects, the company or the name or where they're from, and think of line to obviously give an icebreaker on the first line on the email so it doesn't sound like spam. So it's quite personalized. So this gives more of a human touch, I guess. And it sends cold emails one by one. So obviously the scraping leads manually, this would take quite a while looking through LinkedIn and then scraping the leads, scraping the details, sorry. And also using Apollo. The Apollo is quite fast. So it is quite pretty much like AI. But if you're scraping it manually, like through LinkedIn, then it will take quite a while. However, writing icebreakers manually, this is very slow and repetitive. So thinking of a line would take a while. So obviously this is why it would take around 7+ hours for these VAs. However, it does give more of a human touch, I guess, because it doesn't sound like spam, which is what we want. When it comes to cold emailing, you want the first line of the email to be quite personalized, obviously, so it catches the prospect's eye. So it does give a more of a human touch. So it's more quality over quantity, but it is still quite expensive and slow, I'd say. Sending cold emails one by one. Now, this is definitely a slow factor as sending emails one by one does take a lot of time in your day, just especially if you're just to come up with a icebreaker line and then sending the emails one by one. However, sending emails one by one. So the only I say risk is this is still a risk, even though it offers more human touch. So more of a human. We'll write that down quick. Human. Shoot. Okay, this is very bad handwriting. Sorry. Touch. All right, this is really bad handwriting. Hold on a second. So the good things when it comes to the VAs doing their job is it offers human touch. So the prospect does know it's a real person and it's not a spam or an automated email, which is good. It also offers quality over quantity, which is quite a phrase that is quite important. However, so that'll be the benefits of what the VAs do. However, it is quite slow and repetitive, as well as it isn't cost effective, so it's quite expensive. quite expensive, as it costs $6. Hold on, let me search up for the facts. How much, wait, average, how much, how much on average does it cost for a VA to scrape and outreach outreach leads? Bam. So the cost of a virtual assistant to perform lead scraping and outreach typically ranges from $8 to $75 per hour. The one I used to hire when I was using VAs to scrape my leads costed $10 per hour. So, but I didn't know it could cost us $75. That's crazy. You would need to have the VA must be very experienced for that. So let's just go $50 right here. Average. So it's very expensive to hire these VAs. It's not simple. Very expensive. More of a human touch. It's quality over quantity. However, it's quite slow, repetitive, and expensive, as you can see. Oops, wait, that's supposed to be in red. This whole shit. What tick? Cool. Now let's look over at the process of AI when it comes to lead gen and outreach. Now, this is how the AI workflow would work. They would start off by scraping. To be honest, you could scrape literally 5,000 leads in under 1 minute. This is how AI does it. And it will generate a personalized icebreaker instantly and catches their eye. So as you can see, it is literally generating icebreakers for the prospects instantly right now. Like, this is all automated, and imagine if you had to do this manually. Like, this is what the VA what the VA would do is they would have to look into the prospects information and check out their company or where they're from and see their status to then be able to type in a personalized line, just so it's more, just so they can generate a personalized icebreaker for them. But yeah, and you can even check. Now, here's one of the examples of one of my icebreaker system, which I built to generate me multiple icebreakers instantly to the matching for it to match the prospects. So as you can see, this is where I would have all my prospects' emails and details, the name and what they do, an organization. And then what my system will do is I'll use AI to fact check all of where their prospects are from and what they do. And then what the system will do is create a personalized icebreaker which matches to the prospects information and would literally write a one line icebreaker that is personalized. Now let's look at another one real quick just to see if there's any error. Let's look at this guy, Mano Notemans. He's a student at recruitment marketing. Let's see what the AI has come up with the icebreaker. Hey Mano, notice you're a refining student recruitment marketing at Think Orion. Like how you blend data insights with outreach. Wanted to run something by you. So Mano is a student in recruitment marketing. Let's check if that's true or not on his profile. Founder at Think Orion, which founder at Think Orion. So he works. He's a I think he's a founder of a company called Think Orion. He's right. He's founder of Think Orion. And yeah, so the icebreaker is quite personalized because it's talking about the right thing and what he does. So there isn't any error here. And the system just does this in literally a matter of seconds. Not we the VA would have to literally take around 3 minutes just to a VA would take around 5 to 10 minutes just to look into his profile, see what it does, and then come up with a icebreaker line for himself. Whereas the AI just does this in a matter of seconds. So there's unlikely to be an error here, whereas a VA it can possibly make a human error. So looking back at the workflow, what AI does, as an example, how the AI would generate a personalized icebreaker instantly. And also it would send out 200 emails in 2 minutes. So comparison to that, when it comes to VAs doing it, the AI, it would be fully automated. Everything would be fully automated. It's quite easy to scales easily. Make that bigger. And I'd say the cost, when it comes to the AI reaching per lead is around, it depends on the type of AI scraper you got, but for the one I use, it's around, I think it's $20 per lead. So it costs pennies pretty much per lead. And it is extremely fast. It is extremely fast. Literally instantly from 7 hours. So what a VA, from 7 hours it takes a VA just to scrape the leads, come up with a personalized icebreaker and to email all of them, it would take around 7 hours, whereas the AI, hold on, where is it? Whereas the AI, 7 hours, whereas the AI would literally take the AI, hold on, 5 minutes, 5 minutes max, 5 minutes max just to do all of that. So the comparison of when it comes to AI automating the lead gen and outreach process is very fast, cost effective. But however, there are some flaws when it comes to using AI. From my experience, when doing lead gen, processing lead gen and outreach, is you do need a proper setup. You need a proper setup, and you need to design your own like prompt design, because it is not easy to obviously tell what the AI does. It's not easy to get the AI just to do what you want it to do in your head. You gotta explain it like detailedly. You gotta explain it in a way where the AI would do the steps and it doesn't mess up, you know? And I'd say from my experiences, the deliverability, it would have to be managed carefully. Deliverability must be managed carefully, as obviously, even though it does generate the iceberg quite instantly from what we've seen, sometimes you do need to check it up just in case if there's any errors, because not everything is perfect. Overall, overall from the comparison, on my experience when using VA and AI is AI saves me a lot of time. Time saved. AI saves me lots of time. Literally minutes per day, minutes, hours per day, compared to using a VA. When I was using VA, I literally had no time on completing my other tasks because I had to check on my VAs, see what they were doing manually. And then sometimes I would have to do it myself when generating my own icebreaker manually. And then having to send out, I would have to help these VAs out to send out these emails. As well as AI is better when it comes to personalization at scale. That's better personalization at scale. Hold on. Better personalization at scale. Because even though you, when using a VA, it is more of a human touch, but it is not best at scale because when using the AI, the AI literally fact checks even every small little detail, and it does it quickly. Like from what we've seen from the Google Sheets, it literally shows where the prospect lives, what the prospect's first and last name is, and what they did, what's what university they went, what college they went, and what status they are. Whereas when a VA does it, obviously it does take VA can do all those possibilities, but it would take them quite a while, and it wouldn't be very it wouldn't be very efficient, you know. And overall, when it comes to using the AI, it offers me a lot of free time to focus on other things. So it gives me on time to focus. Allows me time to focus on my sales calls, helps me, gives me time to build offers, allows me to build my offer, and more time for me to work on my client delivery. Have you ever heard what I think it was Nick Ariev? He's quite big when he's quite a big creator when it comes in the AI industry. He was talking about how business is a pipeline. Yeah. So what he means when a business as a pipeline is, if you focus on if you focus too much, let's say if you focus too much on scraping the right leads, the quality of the leads, this would leave you out with this will give you more of a weak error when it comes to the deliverability, for example, client deliverability, which is what was happening with me. I was getting some leads, but when it comes to my client closing in the sales calls, it wasn't quite strong because I didn't have time to work on my sales. All I did was just work on my quality when it comes to qualifying the leads. So I didn't have time. Whereas when I was using the AI now, I had time to literally work on my sales and client delivery. So when the AI would work on the qualifying all my prospects for me and outreaching for them and booking them sales calls just for me, which led me for my time to work on my sales calls, which is why I've worked on my pipeline. So it's like so what so why business is a pipeline, because you gotta be able to balance out on different areas of your pipeline. So it's a balance overall. You can't work on one thing of the pipeline and then the other bit of the pipeline, it needs to grow the same amount of time that you've put effort into at the other end of the pipeline. So this is future proof that AI system can replace multiple VAs. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was speaking to a marketing agency owner, and he was telling me how he is using VAs to cold call all his leads. Cold call. I think he was using VAs to cold call his leads, to find his leads, to manage his leads, which is it obviously offers more of a human personalized touch, but it he said it took him literally just to be able to contact 500 leads like 2 days. Like, I just thought like, nah, that is way too long. When you could be using AI system, which literally uh, delivers, delivers the, delivers what VAs do, but instantly. And you might be thinking, oh, what about the quality of prospects? Literally, I've literally just shown you an example right here from what the AI has created. Is literally it literally found the quality of the prospects, and I literally just fact checked, literally looked into it just to see if it's right, and everything on the icebreaker which the AI generated was correct. So it is quite, so the quality is proof right there that AI can deliver quality prospects. However, overall, this benefits us in obviously the time, the mainly just time efficiency. So this allows us to process time, but it all depends really on the deliverability, right? It depends on the email. It depends on if this will get us replies. So this is why I'm going to show you 3 ways to get better email replies. Because obviously you can scrape the leads, you can come up with icebreakers instantly, but it doesn't matter if you haven't got any replies yet, right? So which is why the it depends on the deliverability if it's able to get you a high reply rate. So here's 3 ways to get better email replies. So the first way in getting a better email reply is you need to make sure that the subject line gets opens. So what type of subject lines gets opened is it's the use of curiosity, right? You need to have benefit driven lines, and you want to make sure to keep under 5 to 6. Keep it 5 to 6. It's pretty much just one sentence line. Literally from what I showed you earlier from the icebreakers of the Google Sheets. That's an example. You want to keep it personalized as well, which is why you need to have a personalized strategy. So what you want to do is reference their role, which I showed earlier of Simon, I think it was Simon or the other guy on. I'm gonna reference their role, their niche, what they do, their company of the prospects, and make it about them and not you. This is so it is personalized, and it literally it catches the prospects, because the prospect would what the prospect would do would open the email like, oh, this email is about me and it's talking about what the prospect does. So obviously it creates curiosity on the prospect. So obviously the prospect would open it. And then third is to follow up. You want to make sure to follow up, even though they may not reply. You just follow up just in case, because just in case maybe the prospect's busy or didn't be able to see it, or maybe the prospect thinks it's a waste of time until you follow up and see that the prospect could see that you are a repetitive guy and you don't give up and you're serious about what you do. So this might give us a chance on the prospect then replying. You want to keep it when you're following up. You want to send a 3 to 5 polite follow ups, space them, and you want to make sure to space them over 7 to 10 days. You don't want to you don't want to follow up like instantly on the same day, because that would consider as spam. You don't want to be like a repetitive like robot. Like, you don't want to sound like you don't want to be bothering them too much. So what I usually like to do is called the 4-step process when it comes to cold emailing these prospects. So the first thing, what you want to do is, I would think in a perspective. I would think in the lead's perspective is this spam? So obviously the question is this spam? I would think, is this spam? And what you do is you would put in your icebreaker, personalized icebreaker, talking about the prospects and what they do. So obviously to see if this spam. And what next is, obviously if the lead doesn't think you're spam, then the prospect will think, who are you? Who the fuck are you? So who are you? So then if you're not spam, then who are you? So that's when you talk about yourself, which is here. And then after that is after they want to know who are you. Obviously, you want to put in the prospect mind on who you are. After that, you want to know they probably want to know why. What is this and why? So that's where you justify what you've done, which is we're seeing it constantly generate 25, 40 warm leads a month. So why it matters, obviously. And then after all of that, what you want to have is some sort of direction for these prospect is a CTA where you direct the lead on what to do next. You know what I'm saying? Curious if this could plug into what you're doing. Would you be open to a quick chat to see if that makes sense? And that pretty much sums up my 4-step process on how I would usually cold email all of these prospects. So you don't have to follow these steps just to make it right. You can obviously change it a bit, but this is how I would do. But if you follow the 4 steps of is this spam in the prospect eyes, is this spam? And if it's not, then who are you? You would say that's when you talk about, and then why. That's where you justify and talk about what you've done, which catches the prospects on why it matters, and then a call to action to what to do next, obviously. And if you just follow these simple steps, then you pretty much have a better understanding and better way on how to email these prospects. Now, I know this video is quite different from the ones before, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. And if you wanted more, please like and comment and tell me below if you like more of these type of videos. And hopefully you guys have learned something from this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.